Follow along as a guy who has no experience printing a magazine, no experience building hot rods, and hardly any tools, does all of those things. Today I'm going to show you where Cruise Culture Apparel started and where we're going. But first I need to show you where we've been. I've always been a car guy. I bought my first car when I was 14, a 1979 Camaro Berlinetta. Let's pick this up in 2019 when I bought my 1964 Oldsmobile Super 88, now known as Los Viejos. And that's when I started my Instagram journey. My first post was on May 4th, and it was a picture of Los Viejos sitting in the driveway when I first brought her home. Back then, my account was dedicated to just my Oldsmobile and a little bit of my Buick, now known as Project Living Dead Girl, aka Dead Betty. Over a year later, in August 2020, I started Cruise Culture Apparel. I started by doing my first couple of t-shirt designs on my iPhone. This evolved into me doing custom designs for t-shirts for other people and their vehicles, and I got to meet some pretty cool people along the way. Like Jared with Haystack and Chance Dixon and his awesome Lincoln, a bunch of the guys and gals from Cali Cruisin' and their awesome muscle cars, including All for Speed, Nitro SS, Hellhound 67 SS, and War Machine. I also got to meet Travis Summers, who you might know as Simple C10, before he started his YouTube channel. I eventually landed a deal with Red Deer Cruise Night to do their t-shirts for their events. In May of 2021, I was doing designs for t-shirts almost every day, but for free. I did the designs for free in hopes of selling a couple t-shirts. Around that time, I also hit 5,000 followers on Instagram, which was a huge step for me. I was going to as many car shows as I could, trying to sell t-shirts, and some of those events were a bust. In December of 2021, I had some time on my hands, and I finally put together a concept for Dead Betty, my 1955 Buick Special. At this point, it was more of a long-term goal, something I would maybe finish by the time I retired. In January of 2022, I finally started to get serious with Los Viejos. I had already rebuilt the motor and the carburetor the previous year, but I was finally going to put in air ride. In 2022, the brand started getting attention from lots of models and influencers. In July that year, I sponsored my first content creator video, which was from Chance Dixon with his Lincoln.
I hit record a drop, you can't ignore it. I'm transforming now these cars and planes, I'm always boarding. Just out touring down in Charlotte like I play for Hornets. When I'm performing, never boring, now you can't afford it. Champagne Perrier, finished friends on my face. Looking like I'm from the deep, these no Cartiers. Pockets deep, 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 bro. I can make it in my seat, bro. Do you, I'm doing me, bro. Making noise, use a beat, bro. Whoa, whoa. I press the button and the doors go up like, whoa. That money clip us now, the new now looks like, whoa. Upgrade her diamonds, now her girlfriends are like, whoa, 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 whoa. Neighborhood on the scene, neighborhood on the strip. Neighborhood be the name, neighborhood no crib. Neighborhood that's me, neighborhood that's Nick.
And then I took a gamble. As all the other car magazines were going to digital and getting rid of their print departments, I decided I wanted to bring back real print car magazines. And I created my very own print magazine, Cruise Culture Magazine. I squeezed out my very first issue, August of 2022, featuring some of the good friends I mentioned before and some awesome advertisers that took a chance buying some ad space in my brand new magazine, including VeloWorks, GMSS Fab, and Cruisin' Clothing. That first issue of the magazine, I only ran about 30 copies on my first print. And for me, that was a lot of money. It was a big investment. Some of them, I was practically giving them away just so I could try to get the name out there. When scouting and shooting content for the second issue, I met Dale with Forbidden Fantasy. who you can see on the cover of issue number 2 or on the flag behind me. And he talked to me about starting a YouTube channel. And with his help and the help of a bunch of my friends, I started doing one. I started shooting. So where is Cruise Culture Magazine going now? We are only getting started, and this is just the beginning. More builds, more Dead Betty, more magazines, and more t-shirt designs. And on top of that, we're gonna be hitting more shows. And I need your guys' help. I need you to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and tell me what you want to see with the future of Cruise Culture Magazine. I started this whole thing just so I could spend more time with the car community. Everybody in the car community, talking to them online and checking out their cool cars. I've done tons of designs for people, and I have a blast with every single one that I do. Cool things that I want to build, cool cars that I want to build, cool trucks that I want to build. And I want to do it all with you guys. I would really appreciate it if you guys would like, share, follow, subscribe to my channel, and check out my Instagram. It doesn't cost you anything to look, it doesn't cost you anything to watch, and it doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. But it sure does help me, and it helps boost the algorithm. I have a page with all of my links set up on every single one of my social medias, and you can get at my TikTok, my Instagram, my Facebook, my website, my magazine, and my YouTube channel from there. You can also check out all of our advertisers for the magazine and all of our sponsors. I want you guys to understand that Cruise Culture Magazine is one person. It's just me. I rely on all of you to help me put this thing out there. All of the photographers that have stepped up and sent pictures and taken photographs for me and put them in the magazine and written articles and just helped supply content for the magazine. I really appreciate you guys. This whole passion of mine is not a big money maker. Everything that I make and earn doing the t-shirts, the magazine, it all goes straight back into making content and adding to the magazine and making everything better. I work full-time on top of all of this to support my family. I'm trying to keep Cruise Culture alive. All of us car guys, we're old school. We like the nostalgic feel of a print magazine, the nostalgia of getting up on a Saturday morning and watching car shows, and especially the nostalgia of seeing these cool old rides see the road once again. I've met hundreds of cool people and built cool relationships since 2020 when I started Cruise Culture Apparel, and especially since I started the magazine. My wife and my girls have been super supportive. The goal with the builds on my YouTube channel is to show you that you don't have to know a lot to get started. I'm not a mechanic, I'm not a professional. I work behind a computer 45, 50 hours a week. The air ride I installed on Los Vejos was the very first time I had done any work with air ride, and I had a blast. The engine, the 394 in my Super 88, was the very first motor that I tore down and rebuilt myself. And Project Living Dead Girl is the first car that I will build from the ground up and do a engine swap, transmission swap, rear end swap, suspension, you name it, everything. I'm learning just as much from you guys as hopefully you guys will learn from me. I've had lots of people comment on my videos and tell me, hey, you should have done it this way. And you know what? I appreciate that so much. Just recently, I had somebody reach out and tell me that when I patched in the panels, it would have done a lot better with the heat if I had rounded the corners of my patches. And when they said that, that made so much sense. But at the time, I was just winging it. Just from what I had seen before and what I thought I would try, that's what I did. I really appreciate all the comments. And as I go, I hope to teach you guys what I learn as well and show you that you don't have to know much to start and try and figure these things out. I've always said, if you didn't do it twice, did you even do it at all? I have no problem going back and fixing something or redoing something that I didn't do right the first time. I enjoy figuring this stuff out and I enjoy working on cars. I also want to show you guys that you don't need a $250,000 K5 Blazer to be able to drive it on the road. This car cost me $200. And yeah, I'm putting money into it and I'm putting a ton of time into it, and it's not gonna be shiny paint. It's gonna have rust, it's gonna have problems, but it's back on the road and it's cool. The first year I had Los Vejos, she was barely running. If I drove it for more than half an hour when I took it outside, I didn't have enough power to get back up my driveway. That engine was so worn out, but I was driving it. and I was having fun. Some upcoming projects we have on the channel is more work on Project Living Dead Girl. We've got a bunch of maintenance to do on Los Fejos, and I've got a bunch of work to do on my 1997 Suburban. The Suburban needs new power steering hoses, a new fuel tank, and while we're underneath it, I think we're gonna drop it. We also have some cool builds coming up that aren't my cars. Dan Holtink with H-Bros has a cool Ford pickup that we're gonna start building soon. So stay tuned, subscribe, so you don't miss out on these cool new features and projects that we're gonna be doing. I'm also setting up more interviews and more features on cars for the YouTube channel and for the magazine. As soon as spring hits and we can get back out there with our rides, we'll be photographing more cars, shooting more interviews, and I'm going to be going further to find cool stuff. And that means more behind the scenes videos as well. If you haven't seen any of these other videos that I've done, be sure to scroll back and check out these videos on our YouTube channel. There's a really good one on Tyler Paul's Cornet, refreshed hot rods out of Wetaskiwin, and that one's definitely worth a look because his car is going to be featured in April's issue of Cruise Culture magazine. So follow along as a guy who has no experience printing a magazine, no experience building hot rods, and hardly any tools, does all of those things. And in case you were wondering, I still do custom designs. If you go to our website and check out Get Your Ride on a t-shirt, even if you're not actually wanting your ride on a t-shirt, but you just want a cool design, a drawing, or a mock-up of what your project could be, check out that page and I'll be happy to put a design together for you. I'm so excited to meet many more of you. If you ever want to chat, show me your car or anything like that, just reach out on any one of my social medias and I'll be happy to get back to you. Hell, we might even put it in the magazine. Keep Cruise Culture alive.
They call me a god. 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 Let's go. I'm about to go off like a weapon. Fuel to the top, got it filled up.